Hi, this is Ravi with Ravi Plays Games, here to talk about my Season 2 Invasion bow build. I did start out with a slightly different build at the start of the season, but I have adjusted to using bow spear instead of bow void gauntlet like I did last season. Part of that is just to help apply some different debuffs. We're going to start off by looking at my attributes. As you can see, all decks all the time. I was splashing 50 intelligence when I was holding a void gauntlet previously. I have yet to decide if I want to go back to having that intelligence and take that out of decks just for the crit, but I'm still kind of playing with that and getting a feel for the build using bow spear with my current spec. We'll go to weapon mastery. I am running a spear with the Sundering Javelin perk. I will not take a spear into invasion that does not have that perk on it, because that's what I'm there to do with that particular thing. I'm just throwing that in the same way that all I was doing with the Void Gauntlet was throwing down Oblivion at my feet for the damage boost and hopefully trying to line that up under a few other people's feet to maximize the benefit to the team. My bow build. Previously, I had been running Concussion and was more focused in the Hunter's side. I had Explosive Arrow in Season 1. As you can see, I had to get rid of that in order to pick up Evasive Tactics. Evasive Tactics used to be in the top row of the Skirmisher Tree, so it was super easy to pick up, and you're able to get that damage bonus with dodging. And I am a light armor user who is a dodge roll fan to the max. I'm constantly trying to make sure that I have that buff up with increased damage after dodging. I did not want to give that up, so when it came to Season 2 and they reworked the tree, I had to rework my build. So let's come over and see what I took. I did not take Evade Shot. This build is for invasion. I'm not generally trying to get away from like a PvP scenario or anything like that. I am there to kill elites and try to assist as much as possible with trash, but really I'm focused on killing elites. I'm often in the flex team that goes from gate to gate to help take down elites, so I didn't need this particular skill. Rain of Arrows, super popular for invasion folks, especially since they buffed it in Season 2. For me, I have a big issue with a combination of my vision issues and my hand issues in being able to effectively aim this skill as quickly as I need to in order to have it get there when it needs to be there in order to kill the mobs. So I let my fellow invasioneers use Rain of Arrows, and I've skipped that. In order to get the Capstone, you have to take one skill in this tree. That's just the minimum required. As long as you are putting points in all of the off-skill parts of the tree, you just have to take one. So I took Poison Shot, because as I discussed, Evade and Rain of Arrows, not for me. So trying Poison Shot. So far, I seem to be doing okay. As a direct comparison to my Season 1 damage, when I was using Void Gauntlet paired with Poison Shot build, even without the Poison Shot perk or a perk that will extend the length of poisons on my targets, my damage was somewhat comparable, although a tiny bit less than what I was doing on the average in Season 1. But I do feel that having the perks that will kind of cater to Poison Shot will bring my damage up and have it be on par. I've also experienced a little bit less damage since I'm doing work with the spear debuffing instead of using Oblivion, but that's okay because I'm helping the team do more damage and take those elites out faster, and invasions are a team event. That's what I'm focused on, is being the best contribution I can give to the team. So I've got Poison Shot. I went ahead and fully buffed it because I did have to take 10 points in this tree to get Evasive Tactics. So my Poison Shot has 24% more damage per second for 10 seconds from the poison, and a direct hit will also do 100% weapon damage. So if I do manage to directly hit something with this, then it will do increased weapon damage on that hit. But even if I miss or I hit them, I'm still poisoning everybody around the area in the cloud. So that's all fine. I took Headshot, Inflicting Rend, even though I don't go for headshots that often, especially now that I don't have a capstone that relates to headshot damage, but I did have to take several skills in this tree, so I went with that. Closing in, that's great, especially on elites that have a lot of health, that you start doing a whole bunch more damage more quickly. That's a great skill. Love that one. Hunter's Insight, hitting a foe with a debuff grants 5 stamina. I'm constantly debuffing with this build, so this is great, plus group debuffs from other people doing stuff. I'm getting stamina back really quickly. I always have stamina available to be able to do the dodge roll to get the evasive tactic damage increase, so that's great. Here's another thing that just helps with that whole keeping things debuffed. Debuff duration's 20% longer. If you hit a foe with 100 health, inflict 10% slow for 2 seconds. I took this because, you know, I needed skills and I weighed it against other stuff that I wasn't taking and decided, oh, yeah, that one seems a little bit potentially better in more situations. Dodge and weave. After dodging with full stamina, gain haste. This is like useful for me a little bit when I'm on flex because I'll be, you know, standing at the gate. I probably have my stamina back up to full, and then they're like, oh, we need help with the commander over here. I get a little bit of boost from that if I dodge and head out. I tend to dodge whenever I get back up to full stamina if I'm not using a haste potion. Do remember, if you're using a haste potion, don't dodge. That will cancel the haste potion effect. Mark, deal 10% more damage to foes suffering from a debuff. As I said before, debuffing a lot with this build and with the team debuffs that we're doing in Invasion. This just makes more sense than some of the ones that I did not opt for. And then of course, evasive tactics. The whole reason I came into this tree, 15% more damage for 5 seconds after dodging. Keep that sucker up. The thing I did not take of the incidental skills, catch me if you can. In just the grand scheme of things, this one doesn't seem as strong as others, so I skipped that one. And archer's speed, swapping weapons. Generally, when I'm doing my weapon swap, I'm throwing my javelin, switching to my bow, and I'm not running around during that time. So I skipped that one because for Invasion, that one is not as strong for me. Like I said, this build is totally focused on Invasion. That's the main activity that I do. So anything that made more or less sense based on gameplay in Invasion, the way that I play in there, that's how I was making those decisions. Okay, on the hunter side, I took penetrating shot, fully buffed it, right? So I get the 10% more damage. I get the 15% more damage if they're 20 meters away, which is often the case in Invasion. I stand far back and shoot things from a distance. Rapid shot, probably my favorite skill out of all of the archer trees. The 3 consecutive arrows with the increased damage on the 3rd arrow, and having the ability with this rapid accuracy to reduce the cooldown is awesome. I constantly feel like I'm shooting that all the time. And then you get an extra 25% damage from this final blow. The other 2 incidental skills that I took in Hunter are 10% more damage to foes 10 meters away and the arrow range increasing the distance, which is huge for Invasion because standing back potentially up on the walls, I need my arrows to fly as far as possible. So that is my current build that I am using in Season 2 Invasion. I may or may not make some changes to it. If I do, I'll try to share an update on what I changed and why I changed it. But for now, this seems to be working well. Most of the invasions that I'm in, we're winning, although it's a struggle. Everyone's still adjusting to the Season 2 changes, so sometimes there just isn't the coordination or the throughput of damage on a gate to clear mobs fast enough to keep up with the new pace. But we're getting there, and I feel like the build that I'm using is effective for the way that I play and my part of the job, especially as a flex elite killer. I feel like I'm doing an okay job with that. I'm not always up super high on the scoreboard. The algorithm really favors people that are doing a lot of ad killing, and that's not what I'm focused on. So I don't worry about that too much. I just try to make sure that the targets that I'm targeting are going down as quickly as possible. And I feel like this build is helping me to achieve that. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below the video and I will get back to you. And like I said, if I make any changes to this or adjustments, I will try to post an update at that time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'll see you later. Bye for now from Ravi at Ravi Plays Games.